customary handshake. And Mark Allen, eager to get on with things. He was ready to break off. Well, let's have another one for good measure. He was ready to break off 30 seconds ago, and no wonder he's got the bit between his teeth now. Breaks of 79, 106 and 48 to reel off 3 frames on the bounce, having been completely out of sorts at 4-0 down and then 5-2 down.
Well, the cue ball's still not reached the baulk cushion, but at least this time he hasn't left a red on. Oh, didn't want to make contact with that red. How expensive is that going to be?
This is the moment that he fouled the green. And this was a chance to potentially win the match. Remember, from that opportunity that should have been Wells, Allen made 79.
Yeah, he took a different red though, didn't he? He didn't play that red. Took a different red, took a more difficult red, but played nicely onto the baulk colours. And now a chance in this decider.
Okay. 1.
It sounded like a miscue, but obviously it wasn't.
And he's never been a sufferer of what they call clincher's disease, Mark Allen. Normally, when he gets the chance to close out a match,
6.
he takes it.
Yeah, he'll be thinking that I can get to the final now.
7.
Three reds surrounding the black. I think one of them will go to the right corner. The black will go to the right corner.
12.
Didn't have the angle to play for the black. Red goes to the left corner, and if he's fairly straight on it, he can get to the black.
18.
Looking good for Mark Allen.
19.
Now bidding for his 10th ranking final. How unlikely did that look a couple of hours ago?
Not ideal on this
26.
red, but maybe he can leave himself an angle on a colour to split the reds open.
27.
He can get into them from there. Now, is he on one? He is, but not ideally. He's on a couple, but not ideally. He has a little nod, but he can still pot one or two.
Couldn't have hit the pink much better, could he? Red split nicely, but cue ball not ideal. They're kind of in the way of one another, aren't they? And there's still a lot of pressure on Mark Allen's shoulders here. He's done all the hard graft to give himself the chance for this comeback win, but he's still got to finish the job.
Yeah, he's opened the reds, and what he doesn't want to do now is miss. And this isn't easy down the cushion. The black is available, but it could be safer to play for the blue. No, that's a great shot. Played up for one of the baulk colours just in case, and he couldn't have played that any better. Came close to missing, but The important thing is it's dropped in. And Daniel, I don't know what he must be thinking.
Mark Allen, a player transformed.
$38.
Just about the right side of the blue. You'd dearly like to get onto the black, but doesn't matter. Pink's available, so is the blue. But if the black goes, he can get to it this
43.
time round.
$44.
So all in Mark Allen's hands now. He's done all the hard work.
And this might just be the quickest frame of the match. It's only been going 6 minutes. First two lasted over half an hour. Allen lost them both.
51.
When he might have won the second, and then lost the next two as well. And at that stage,
52.
He didn't look as though he had a prayer with the way he was playing. Daniel Wells seemed to be getting stronger. And when he won the seventh frame on the black, it looked as though it was going to be his day. But now he's got to pray for an unexpected error from Allen.
$58.
Well, he has dug deep, hasn't he? And all he needs is this red.
64.
And you've got to take your hat off to him.
65.
Remarkable.
Yeah, he knows it's over now.
And so does Mark Allen.
71.
What a turnaround.
72.
And this is 19 out of 21 victories in ranking matches now for Allen. He has been on a serious roll. It looks set to come crashing down to earth this afternoon,
78.
not least because of the good play of that man,
79.
who was so close, remember, to leading 5 with 6 to play. He was 5-2 up, but it hasn't proved to be enough to subdue the reigning Masters champion. And talk about
87.
saving your best till last. Since the interval, 55, 59, 79, 106, 48, and now on the cusp of a winning century. And how often
94.
have we seen Allen do this? When it really matters, he produces his best,
95.
and that is the sign of a great player.
And look at the crowd. Thoroughly enjoyed this, not just this frame, but this match.
104.
It's had everything. All the misses in the world. First session. And then great snooker, the second
107.
session.
And what a difference an interval makes, goodness me.
There's something about those Northern Ireland players that
111.
makes them great fighters.
Yeah, Alex Higgins once won the UK Championship from 7-0 down against Steve Davis.
16.
Dennis Taylor 8-0 down.
Against Steve Davis.
And this man was 4-0 down and didn't look at the races at all. What a performance.
What a performance, what a miraculous comeback from Mark Allen. Not just because he was 4-0 behind, but because he couldn't pot a ball to save his life. But by the finish, he was looking the brilliant player that he has established himself as being over the last 12 months as Masters champion as International Championship champion, and now with the chance of becoming Scottish Open champion. A brilliant comeback from Mark Allen. From dead and buried at 4-0, he wins by 6 frames to 5.
And he finished the match with 2 tons in the last 3 frames. Quite incredible from Mark Allen. And there you go. As you can see, he's booked his place in tomorrow's final, where he will play either Sean Murphy or Judd Trump, and that game is coming up live right here tonight on Eurosport and, of course, on Quest. Mark will be with us on the couch in just a moment. My goodness, we've just got our breath back. Jimmy, at 4-0 down and, what, 5-2 down, no one gave him a chance. What a turnaround.
No, not the amount of balls he missed in the first 4 frames. You know, there was about 10 shots that he gets, you know, 100 out of 100, and they weren't pressure or anything. He was just not at the races the first 4 frames. He was queuing across everything, and then after the interval, he's found his game.
It was just the contrast between what we saw before and after the mid-session. Quite bizarre, wasn't it, Neil?
Yeah, he just was not there. He was lost out there, wasn't he? Couldn't not pot a ball, and we've all been there, but not everyone can turn it around, you know, and he has done it. And only 14 points scored by Daniel Wells in the last 4 frames, so it was a no race in the end. At 5-all, you always think the old cliche, but the pressure does come back on the guy who made the comeback. But Mark's, you know, he's won a Masters, he's been in the final of the UK, he's won the, you know, the big tournament, the international. So, you know, he's a winner, isn't he? And, you know, when it came to the last frame, it's like something that Stephen Hendry would do, just straight in with a, you know, a total clearance. And in the end, he finished very strongly. He finished as well as he was bad early, you know.
Was the turning point, do you think, in frame 8, 5-2 down? He's got the rest out, and then, of course, he fouls with his arm. Was this where it all changed, Jimmy?
Well, I think, yeah, OK, the foul, but I think the turning point was in the 5th frame. You know, Mark was 50-odd behind in the 5th frame, but here he's touched the green here, and Mark doesn't play the red that Daniels plays. He plays the other red. He plays the thin red. You didn't even look at that red there, did you, by the black?
I didn't like it. It was an awkward cannon on the black.
Guaranteed colour, wasn't it?
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Mark, firstly, well done, congratulations. Wow, what a turnaround. How's that happened?
Honestly, I had a couple of drinks at the interval, and I felt a bit better after that because I was really struggling out there.
Can you put that down? Was it a late night for you last night, or?
No, it was actually the earliest I've been to bed and the least I've drunk any night, so I expected to feel good today and I felt terrible.
I mean, at the beginning of the match, first of all, we could not believe, and no disrespect, but of course the level that you have set in the past, we could not believe just how poor you were.
To be honest, that's sort of what I've expected early in the week, because you know, I'd said I was going to come here and enjoy myself, and I sort of expected to play like that. And I've managed to scrape through a few matches and win a few
Mark Allen 6.
decent performances.
With this one, it looks like you played a cot tat again. One of mine.
Yeah, I actually tried to double it.
But I appreciate your honesty, you know, and if you have been having a few drinks, you hit this too thin. You know, you did need to probably have that lively in the interval to settle you down.
Yeah,
you played a double.
I can't believe that didn't drop, actually. Look, I was all over the place. I was really struggling, and look, I'm embarrassed to say that I was sort of hungover and stuff, but I don't deserve to be in the final. No, the way I've treated the tournament this week, but no, every day's different, and see what happens tomorrow.
At 4-0 down, at 5-2 down, did you think that if you got your game back that you had a chance, or did you think you were dead and buried?
No, absolutely. I felt like I had a chance simply for the fact that Daniel wasn't scoring heavy. I was getting chances in every frame, and I knew if I performed I'd have a chance, but obviously I don't win too many matches from 5-2 down. But yeah, I got a bit of form going. Obviously he touched the green with his arm, one of the shots when he was in, and yeah, I played reasonably well to close out the match.
You finished the match with a ton. We'll talk about that in a minute, but your first one came in frame 9 as well. So this, I'm guessing, is for a moment for you where you think, do you know what, maybe it's just starting to come back your game, because you're obviously getting your queuing arm going, getting warmed up.
Yeah, I played a nice cannon there to get on the pink, and then a couple of nice shots to keep the break going, and I hit this one as good as I could, really.
Trying back a little bit, you know.
Yeah, I started hitting the ball really well at the end, but I actually sensed a little bit from Daniel that he was going a little negative. He turned a few down that I couldn't believe he turned down. I think at 5-4 he turned down an easy red in the middle. Yeah, he was scared of leaving one over the yellow pocket, and
to the left.
Like, that helps you grow in confidence whenever you see your opponent doing that. And obviously it's a big match for him. I don't want to be too negative on him, but I sensed a little bit of weakness whenever he turned a few down.
Listen, he's had a great week, and of course he was drawn against Ronnie O'Sullivan until Ronnie O'Sullivan pulled out, and he's the best he's ever done. He's get to the last 4 of this event. Do you think that what you've just mentioned there about refusing certain balls at certain times, is that down to lack of experience, do you think?
Possibly, maybe a bit of nerves as well. And look, we've all been there. I'm not going to say it's just Daniel that does that, but he learned from it, and he's been on a good run the last few months. And he's a nice fella. I know him from all the junior stuff years ago, and comes from a good family, so I'd like to see him continue his good form and do well.
It seems like sometimes at this game, if you try and wait for the winning line to come, it never comes. You just have to go out there and find it, like you did getting, in his case, getting into the front in the first place.
Absolutely, you have to stay aggressive. You can't win these matches or these tournaments by going into your shell. You just can't do it.
You mentioned before that when you went out at the interval at 4-0 down, you went and had a drink to sort of steady your nerves. But we've talked about people in your corner. I know you got the Griff, but he's not here. Did you speak to him at all? Did you have a chat with anyone during the break?
I spoke to him after round 1, and that's all I spoke to him all week. Because as I say, I feel like a bit embarrassed even asking Terry for advice this week. Whenever I'm not putting really much effort in when it comes to my preparation. But look, don't get me wrong. When I'm out there, I fight for everything and I give it my best. But yeah, it's not ideal preparation. I wouldn't advise it to anyone.
That all changes now, I imagine, because you are in the final of a ranking event.
Depends if Maguire answers his phone.
No, you wouldn't go out tonight, would you?
It make no difference now. I felt terrible all week, so I may as well just keep going.
The thing is, these tournaments don't come around, even though you're like at the peak of your powers. You never know how many more ranking finals you're going to get, do you? You know, it's a big
like,
tournament.
I could stay in tonight and go to bed early and feel horrendous tomorrow, and I would deserve to feel that way for the no disrespect I've showed the tournament all week. So I may as well go out and have a good time.
So it's not going to affect your game, basically.
You've got to maybe just have a couple, and then maybe.
I actually only had a couple.
4-0.
Jimmy never had a drink, did he?
I was an expert.
I actually only had a couple last night, and that's the worst I've felt. Other nights I've been out and had more than my fair share, and I felt okay the next day.
I didn't have too
last night I only had 4 or 5 drinks, and I felt horrendous this morning when I woke up. Maybe I didn't have enough.
What were the drinks, though?
Just a few strawberry and lime Copperberg.
Go again.
Yeah. Smurf was on the Guinness.
Let me ask you, because there'll be people that sit at home that will be thinking, a sportsman the day before final and that sort of stuff. But you know, we touched on it with you. You would enjoy yourself the night before a fight.
No, I honestly was a nightmare, and and I got to apologise to family and friends. In the interval, especially in the Crucible, it's 20 minutes, and I used to go and have a half a lager in the players' lounge. Then I go to the Embassy lounge, have half a lager. People would follow me, trying to get me to sit still. Then I'd go into, I'd have one with the reptiles, the press. And then I'd have one in the bar. So by the time I'd come back in 20 minutes, I'd had 2 pints. But for me, that's not a drink. You know what I mean?
No.
When I was drinking,
I
very rarely drink now. But that wouldn't make no difference. I'm sure it wouldn't make no difference to you. But if you're doing it all week, like you've tried to enjoy yourself, you've just come off the UK Championship, but because you're in the final, it's because you're playing so well. That game is in there. So if my advice to you tonight is just have like 2 or 3 pints, and then see how you feel. Don't have none. If you don't have none, you'll feel worse.
There you go. So the advice is...
So if my wife tells me off for going out, it's Jimmy's fault.
Have a few, but don't go crazy. All right. I have to ask this question. I think it's a silly question, but I'll ask it anyway. Do you care who you play in the final? Does it matter?
Obviously, Judd's a great form. Haven't played him in a big final since the UK, but I'd like to see Sean win. Obviously, he's one of my mates, and he's been struggling for results of late. He's looked better this week, so I'd like to get a big final against him, but nothing against Judd at all. Okay, well, listen, well done. I mean, listen, as Fightbacks goes, it's up there with the best of them, so well done. Thank you.
Have that well-earned rest. Remember, 2 or 3 maximum and no more, says Mr. White, okay?